got the basics down on this 6-4-1-5 chord progression. We're going through it and we have nice bounce. Okay. Okay, and so let's start adding some things to it. And the first thing we'll add is that little diminished chord. Okay, so we have our A minor, F, C, and G, or 6-4-1-5. And now we're going to add a little bit of tension before we get back to that A minor. And our chord reader is reading this as A flat diminished, but for now let's call this G sharp diminished. So all we're doing is we're playing G and then we're just moving up a half step to G. This is called A flat, but it can also be called G sharp. Okay, we're raising the G, so we're making it sharp. So we have G sharp, B, and D. Okay, if we were to call this A flat diminished, we could call it, as the chord reader is calling it, A flat, C flat, and E double flat. So, but we won't worry about that for now. Okay, let's ignore the chord reader for now and just call this G sharp diminished. Okay, and then we're back at A minor. So let's try that. Okay, so now I'm adding that diminished chord to beat 4 of the measure. So if we were to count it out, let's do this one more time and count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1. All right, so now let's add a little bit more to our chords now, the rest of our chords. Okay, oh, there's so much that you can do with this. There's so many good things that can happen with this groove because we can just keep adding on. We can add on rhythmically and we can add on with our chords. We can stretch them and just thicken them up, and oh man, there's so much goodness that can come out as a result. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's do an A minor 7. Every chord has a root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. Okay, it also has a 9th and 11th and a 13th, but we won't get there for now. We'll just go to the 7th, all right? And notice how we have A is the root, C is the 3rd, E is the 5th, and now G is the 7th. So we can take that G and we can put it down here, okay? And we can play G, C, A. There's no reason to play A here because we have it in the bass, right? So that frees us up to sort of experiment in our right hand and kind of add some more tones in there. So we have our A minor 7. Okay, now as we move down to F, okay, we can do the same thing with F. We can play an F major 7. So F is the root, A is the 3rd, C is the 5th, and now we have our major 7th. Okay, we specify that this is a major 7th because we could play a dominant 7th. Listen how cool that sounds. You know, it sounds a lot more aggressive, whereas major 7 sounds a little bit more open and more relaxed. Okay, and I think for this particular groove, it's the right thing. All right, so here we go. So F, A, C, root, 3rd, 5th, and then 7th. Okay, we don't have to play the root in our right hand because we're going to play it here in our left hand. Okay, and notice how if I lift up off of this F, my chord reader is saying A minor. So really that's what it is. It's an A minor played over an F, but ultimately we know that it's an F major 7. Okay, but any way you want to think of it, as long as you know what the chord really is, it's an F major 7, but we can think of it as, okay, this is A minor in my right hand played over F in my left hand. All right, so we have A minor 7, we have F major 7. Then when we go up to C, we can play C major 7, and all we have to do is move our thumb down just a half step to that B. We we have our C major 7. Now, if we just build that out, C, E, G, root third fifth, and our major 7th is B, so we're going to take that B and we're going to bring it down here, and we're going to close it in, right? So this would be an open C major 7 chord, all right, because our 7th is all the way on top. But then if we put it here in the middle, it's like we're closing it in. So we can call this a closed C major 7 chord. All right, and then we're at G, and instead of just playing G like this, we'll add in, every chord has a root third fifth. It also has a 2nd and a 4th, okay? Root or first note, 2nd note, 3rd note, 4th note, 5th note, okay? And our chord reader is calling this a G add 9. Let's just think of it as a G add 2, okay? We'll come back to that add 9 thing at a later time. But we can think of this as a G add 2 chord. And listen to how it just adds a little bit of, adds some thickness, okay? And that's what we want here. We want this to be thick, a little bit dirty, you know? Okay? And then we're back at our diminished chord, and then A minor 7, okay? F major 7, C major 7, and then G add 2. All right, so let's try this out. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and oh, I forgot my diminished chord on beat 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Okay, so now we have our A minor 7, and without getting into the theory of it, I'm just gonna add in a little bit more. Now notice this is a minor 9, so if we build this up, and we'll see that our 9th there, we have our minor 7, but then our 9th is that B, okay? So I'm gonna close that 9 in, okay? And instead of just playing A minor 7, I add that 9, A minor 9. Okay, now on our F major 7, okay, instead of just playing the A minor over F, I'll add that G. That makes it an F major 9. Okay. Notice how the chord reader's changing from 7 to 9. Okay, but it's closed in here. Okay, and then C major 9. Okay, because I'm adding in that D again. Root third, fifth, 7th, 9th. Okay, closing it in. And we've still got our G add 9 or add 2, and then our diminished chord. Okay, so let's try this out. My bad. Okay, good. So, can you hear the richness and the thickness now? Now we're at a really good place where we've got some good rhythmic, we've got rhythmic goodness going on, but we've got some nice overtones that are just adding some richness. And man, it sounds good. It really sounds professional. We've brought it from kind of like just a basic level, and we've upped our game on the rhythm, and we've upped our game on just the chording, okay? And it's just sounding so nice and rich, all right? And it's really adding to the experience. It's adding to our own experience. It's adding to the listener's experience. So keep experimenting with this, okay? Keep adding on to it and have fun with it, all right? And you're going to make it even better.